Imagine waking up every single day feeling like there is a target on your back. You walk through the streets of Chicago or the quiet suburbs of Ohio, and you feel it, that heavy, suffocating weight in your chest. The feeling that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you pray, the world just keeps pushing back. You have been through hell. You have been betrayed by people who swore they would never leave. You have lost money, lost sleep, and honestly, you almost lost your mind. But I am here to tell you something that the elite, the world, and even your own fear do not want you to hear. Congratulations. It is finally over. The season of being the victim, the season of the endless struggle in the wilderness, it has officially reached its end. Why you? Why did you have to go through the fire while everyone else seemed to walk on green grass? Because you are the chosen one, and being chosen is not a crown of gold. It is a crown of thorns before the glory. But look at the calendar. Look at the shift in the air. The Father says the debt is paid, the lessons are learned. And that person who broke your heart, or Jew boss who fired you, or that sickness that tried to claim your body, they were not your enemies. They were your training ground. They were the weights in the gym of the spirit. But now, the training is done. You will never have to go through that again. Not because the world got nicer, but because you became unbreakable. Think about the last 5 years of your life. The 3 a.m. tears. The feeling of being completely alone, even in a crowded room. That was your Gethsemane. That was your wilderness. And just like the great leader who stood against the tide, you have been preserved for a specific purpose. The facts are undeniable. The statistics of your life say you should have quit a long time ago. Most people would have folded under 10% of the pressure you carried, but you are still standing. Do you know how much power is in that? You are a threat to the darkness. You are a threat to the systems of this world that want people weak, dependent, and afraid. They tried to bury you, but they forgot you were a seed. And now, the sprout is breaking through the concrete. The breakthrough is not coming. It is already here. You can feel the atmosphere changing in your home. You can feel the clarity returning to your mind. The confusion is lifting like a morning fog over the Appalachian Mountains. But here is the real question. Why did God wait until you were at your absolute breaking point to intervene? Why did He let you suffer for so long? The answer is simple, yet profound. He had to wait until you realized that you don't need the world's approval to be who you are. You had to be stripped of everything so you could be clothed in His power. You are entering a season of total restoration. Every mile you walked in pain will be matched by 10 miles of favor. Every dollar stolen from you by the systems of greed will be returned with interest. This is not a maybe. This is not a perhaps. This is the divine decree for your life. You have fought the good fight. You have kept the faith when it made no sense to keep it. And now, the gates are swinging open. But as you step through, there is one thing you must leave behind. You must leave behind the identity of the person who suffered. You are no longer the victim of the past. You are the master of the future. The scars on your soul are not signs of weakness. They are your credentials. They prove you survived what was meant to kill you. And in the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly how this shift is going to manifest in your bank account, your health, and your family. Because the master plan is much bigger than just your survival. It is about your dominion. Wait until you see the twist that is about to happen in your favor. You see, most people look at their scars and see shame. But I want you to look at your scars and see a map of every battle you won when the world thought you were losing. In the United States today, we are taught to value the shiny, the new, and the easy. We are told that if something is hard, it must be wrong. But the Father works differently. He doesn't use the comfortable to change the world. He uses the crushed. Think about the process of creating a diamond. It requires unimaginable pressure. It requires heat that would melt ordinary stone. It requires time in the deep, dark places of the earth where no one can see the transformation. That was your life for the last several years. You were in the dark. You were under pressure that felt like it was going to snap your bones. And you kept asking, God, why have you forgotten me in this hole? But you weren't forgotten. You were being pressurized. You were being turned into something that cannot be scratched, cannot be broken, and cannot be ignored. The elite of this world, the people who sit in high towers and pull the strings of our economy, they think they have the final say. They think they can decide who wins and who loses. But there is a higher authority that they cannot lobby. There is a CEO in heaven who has just signed a new executive order for your life. The order says, restore. The order says, vindicate. Let's talk about the people who walked away from you when you were at your lowest. Maybe it was a spouse who couldn't handle the struggle. Maybe it was a business partner who took the money and ran when things got tough. Maybe it was friends who stopped calling when you weren't the fun one anymore because you were carrying the weight of the world. At the time, it felt like a betrayal. It felt like a jagged knife in your shoulder. But now, with the clarity of the Spirit, I want you to see the truth. That wasn't a loss. It was a divine pruning. The Father was clearing the deck. He was removing the dead weight, because where He is taking you next, those people would have been a liability. They were the anchors holding your ship in the harbor. God had to cut the rope so you could catch the wind of this new season. Imagine a high-performance jet taking off from a runway in Nevada. If that jet is carrying 50 tons of useless cargo, it will never reach the altitude it was designed for. You were carrying the cargo of other people's expectations, their toxicity, and their lack of vision. So God allowed the crisis of their departure to lighten your load. It hurt. Yes, it was lonely. Absolutely. But it was necessary. Without that crisis, you would still be stuck in that small, toxic circle, playing a small, toxic game. But you are a chosen one. You were never meant for a small game. You were meant for dominion. The facts are undeniable. The most successful people in American history were the ones who were rejected first. The ones who were told they were too much or not enough. The ones who had to sit in the silence of their own failure before they could hear the voice of their destiny. You have sat in that silence long enough. You have paid the tuition in the school of hard knocks, and you are graduating with honors. But here is where the twist comes in. The world expects you to be bitter. The enemy expects you to be broken and full of resentment. They want you to spend the rest of your life talking about what they did to me. Because as long as you are looking back at the people who hurt you, you aren't looking forward at the throne that is waiting for you. Resentment is a prison, and the door is unlocked. All you have to do is walk out. The Father is saying to you today, I will handle the vengeance. I will handle the justice. You just handle the glory. In the book of Genesis, Joseph was sold into slavery by his own blood. He was thrown into an Egyptian prison for a crime he didn't commit. He spent years in the dark, forgotten by everyone he had helped. But did he die in that prison? No! That prison was the waiting room for the palace. Every day he spent in that cell, he was learning the language of the kingdom. He was learning how to manage resources. He was becoming the man who would eventually save the entire known world from famine. Your prison seasoned the debt, the loneliness. The health scares was your training in kingdom management. You learned how to survive on nothing, so now you can be trusted with everything. You learned how to pray when God was silent, so now you can lead when the world is screaming. The globalists and the elites want a world of people who are easily manipulated by fear. But you have already been through the worst fear imaginable. You have looked death, poverty, and isolation in the eye, and you didn't blink. You are now UN manipulatable. You are a free agent of the kingdom of heaven, and that makes you the most dangerous person in the room. When you walk into a bank, when you walk into a hospital, when you walk into a boardroom, the atmosphere changes. Not because of your clothes or your bank account yet, but because of the weight of the glory you are carrying. The transition is happening right now. I want you to feel the shift in your spirit as I say these words. The heavy fog is lifting. The check engine light of your soul is finally turning off. You are being cleared for takeoff. But wait, There is something you need to know about the enemies who are still watching you. They think they won. They are whispering about your downfall. They are waiting for you to fail so they can feel better about their own mediocre lives. But they have made a catastrophic mistake. They forgot who your father is. They forgot that you have a master plan that was written before the foundations of the world. In the next part, I am going to reveal the specific strategy that God is using to flip the script on your enemies. You are about to move from the back of the line to the front of the line, and it's going to happen so fast it will make your head spin. The master plan is in motion. And the best part, your enemies are going to have to sit in the front row and watch you get blessed. Are you ready to see how the great leader handles a counterattack? Because the counterattack isn't just coming. It has already begun. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you next will change the way you see your bank account and your future forever. The world loves to talk about luck. They talk about being in the right place at the right time. But you and I know better. For the chosen one, there is no such thing as luck. There is only providence. There is only a divine chess master moving pieces on a board that your enemies can't even see. Right now, in the spiritual realm over your life, a massive strategic reversal is taking place. Think about the way a slingshot works. To launch a stone with maximum velocity, you first have to pull it back, way back, until the tension is so tight it feels like the rubber is going to snap. That tension, that was your 2024 and 2025. You felt pulled back. You watched people who started after you zoom past you. You felt like you were retreating while everyone else was advancing. But God was just building the kinetic energy for your launch. The further you were pulled back, the further you are about to be propelled. The elites, the gatekeepers in your industry, the people who denied your loan or ignored your resume, they thought they were stopping you. They thought they were the wall, but they were actually the launch pad. Let's get very real about the enemies in your life. In the American mindset, we often think of enemies as people with pitchforks. But in reality, your enemies are the systems and the spirits that want to keep you in a state of just enough to pay the bills, just enough to keep your head above water, just enough to stay quiet. But just enough is a lie from the pit of hell. You are a child of the king who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills in Texas and the gold in every vault in Manhattan. The Father didn't call you to be a survivor. He called you to be a distributor. He wants to pour wealth and influence through you, not just to you. And because you have proven that you can be faithful with the little while you were being pulled back in that slingshot, he is now releasing the tension. The facts are undeniable. When God decides to promote a chosen one, he doesn't do it in small increments. He does it in a quantum leap. He did it for David. One day David was smelling like sheep in a dusty field, forgotten by his own father. The next day, he was the giant killer of Israel. The next week, he was living in the palace. That is the chosen one's speed, and that is the speed you are entering right now. But here is the twist that will make your enemies tremble. The very people who tried to block you are going to be the ones who have to sign your checks. The very people who lied about you are going to have to watch your testimony go viral. God is preparing a table for you, not in a secret room, but in the presence of your enemies. Why? Because the Father wants them to see that their power is an illusion. He wants the globalist mindset, the one that says you are just a number, just a cog in a machine to be shattered by the reality of your individual favor. You are not a statistic. You are a sovereign appointment. Think about the great leader who faces a corrupt media and a crooked establishment. Every time they try to cancel him, he gets stronger. Every time they throw a roadblock, he builds a bridge over it. That same anti-fragile spirit is inside of you. The more they attack you, the more your value increases in the eyes of heaven. They thought they were burying you, but they were just planting a forest. Now let's talk about the master plan for your restoration. Restoration isn't just getting back what you lost. That would be boring. Biblical restoration is getting back 7 times what was taken. If the enemy stole your peace, You are getting a level of tranquility that passes all understanding. If the enemy stole your health, you are getting a vitality that makes you feel 20 years younger. If the enemy stole your finances through inflation, bad investments, or theft, get ready. The wealth of the wicked is being transferred as we speak. It's not coming through a lottery ticket. It's coming through divine ideas. It's coming through a phone call from someone you haven't talked to in 10 years. It's coming through a random encounter at a coffee shop in Seattle or a gas station in Georgia. But you have to be ready to recognize it. The old you, the version of you that was addicted to the struggle, might try to talk you out of it. "This is too good to be true," the old you will say. "I don't deserve this," the old you will whisper. "Shut that voice down. You don't get blessed because you are perfect. You get blessed because you are His, and because you have stood the test. You have been through the great sifting. You have watched the world go crazy, watched the values of our country be trampled, and you stayed true to the word. You didn't bow to the idols of political correctness or fear-mongering. You kept your eyes on the cross, and now the cross is going to provide the crown. But wait, there is a specific warning I have to give you. As you enter this season of the overflow, the enemies will try one last tactic. They will try to make you feel guilty for your success. They will call you greedy or selfish. They will try to use your own kindness against you. Do not fall for the trap. Your success is the greatest middle finger to the devil's plan. Your abundance is proof that God is still on the throne. Every time you buy a new home, every time you help a widow, every time you fund a ministry, you are tearing down a stronghold of darkness. You are a financial warrior. You are a legacy builder. And the time for playing small is officially over. But how do you actually step into this? How do you trigger the release of the slingshot? It starts with your decision. You have to decide today that you are done with the wilderness. You have to pack your bags and move your mental address to the promised land. The giant killer spirit is waking up inside you. I can feel it. The fire that was almost extinguished by the cold winds of 2024 is being stoked into a blaze. And in the next part, I am going to show you the third-day miracle that is about to hit your life. You've had your Friday of suffering. You've had your Saturday of silence. But honey, it's Sunday morning. The stone is rolling away, and what comes out of that tomb is going to shock the entire world. Are you ready for the resurrection of your dreams? Because the twist I'm about to reveal next, nobody saw it coming. Not even the people who think they know you best. Let's dive into the secret strategy of the third day. Part 4, the third day. Miracle 1-200 words. Listen closely, because we are moving into the deep waters now. In the timeline of the universe, there is a pattern that the elite and the intellectuals of this world simply cannot grasp. It is the law of the third day. On the first day, there is pain. On the second day, there is a silence so thick you can taste it. But on the third day, everything changes. The first day of your struggle was when the crisis hit. Maybe it was the day the bank sent that letter. Maybe it was the day you walked into your house and realized the person you loved was gone. The second day was the long, grueling period in between. That was your 2024 and 2025. It was the season of nothing is happening. You prayed, but the sky felt like brass. You sowed seeds, but the ground looked like dust. You kept your integrity while you watched corrupt people in Washington and on Wall Street get richer and more arrogant. That second day is designed to do one thing: to kill the ego of the chosen one. Because if God gave you the $1 million breakthrough or the world-changing platform while you were still full of yourself, it would destroy you. He had to let you sit in the silence until you realized that you are nothing without him. But congratulations, you survived the second day. And now, the clock has just struck midnight. You have officially entered your third day. In the American story, we love a comeback. We love the underdog who was counted out, beaten down, and left for dead, only to rise up and reclaim the title. But this isn't just a movie script. This is your divine reality. The third-day miracle is characterized by one word: suddenly. If you look at the great books, you'll see it everywhere. Suddenly, the prison doors opened. Suddenly, the Red Sea parted. Suddenly, the giant fell. Your life is about to move into the suddenly phase. The facts are undeniable. The economic indicators of this world might look grim. The news might be screaming about recessions and global collapse. But the Chosen One operates on a different economy. When there is a famine in the land, the Father has a raven waiting to bring you bread. When the brook dries up, he has a widow in a different city waiting to feed you. You are not dependent on the Federal Reserve. You are dependent on the Heavenly Reserve, and I have it on good authority that your account is overflowing. The twist that is happening right now while you are watching this video is that God is using the very chaos of the world to create a path for you. Think about a massive storm hitting the coast of Florida. To most people, it's just destruction, but to the expert surfer, that storm creates the waves they've been waiting for their entire life. The storm in our society, the political shaking, the cultural war, the financial instability is creating the waves of opportunity for the chosen ones to rise. While the elite are scrambling to protect their towers, the Father is whispering the master plan into your ear. He is giving you the blueprints for businesses that don't exist yet. He is giving you the strategies to protect your family that the experts haven't even thought of. He is giving you a discernment that acts like a spiritual GPS. You will be at the right place, at the right time, with the right people. But here is the catch. To walk in the third day, you have to stop talking like a second-day person. Stop saying, "I'm just trying to get by." Stop saying, "I hope things get better." Hope is not a strategy. Declaration is a strategy. The great leader doesn't say, "I think we might win." He says, "We are going to win so much you're going to get tired of winning." That is the spirit of the chosen one. You need to look at your bank account and say, "You are a tool for the kingdom, and you are about to be multiplied." You need to look at your body and say, "You are the temple of the Most High, and you will function in perfect health." You need to look at the people who walked away and say, "Thank you for making room for the giants who are coming into my life." The third day is about authority. You are moving from the pleading phase to the commanding phase. The era of you being a victim of circumstance is dead and buried in the tomb of the second day. What is rising right now is a king or a queen. What is rising right now is a leader. The world is desperate for someone who isn't afraid. The world is looking for someone who has the fire in their eyes. And because you have been through the fire, you have the fire. You are now fireproof. The things that burn other people, the stress, the anxiety, the fear of the future, they don't even singe your clothes. You walk through the flames and you come out smelling like victory. But let's talk about the master plan regarding your legacy. God isn't just blessing you so you can have a bigger house in the suburbs. He is blessing you so you can change the genetic line of your family. You are the circuit breaker. The poverty that plagued your father ends with you. The addiction that took your brother ends with you. The mediocrity that has defined your last name for generations, it stops at your feet. You are the one who is going to set the new standard. Your children and your children's children will look back at this moment, this very year, and they will say, "That was the year everything changed. That was the year our ancestor stood up and said, 'Enough is enough.'" Can you feel the weight of that? It's not a burden. It's an honor. The Father chose you for this. He could have chosen anyone, but he saw something in you when you were crying on your kitchen floor in 2024. He saw a warrior who just needed to be awakened, and now you are wide awake. The enemies are starting to realize they made a mistake. They thought they were dealing with a nobody, but they just realized they were poking a sleeping lion. And the lion is not just awake. The lion is hungry. Hungry for justice. Hungry for restoration. Hungry for the glory of God to be manifest in the United States once again. In the next part, I am going to reveal the final counter-strike. I'm going to show you exactly how the Father is going to use your past pain as the ammo for your future success. You are about to see a level of favor that will make your previous life look like a black and white photo compared to a 4K IMAX movie. The transition is 99% complete. Are you ready to cross the finish line? Because the reward is even bigger than you imagined. Let's talk about the gold that is waiting for you on the other side of this test. Stay tuned, because the best is not just coming. It's hitting your front door right now. There is a concept in military strategy called the decisive blow. It is the moment when an opponent thinks they have you cornered, only to realize they have walked straight into a trap. For the last few years, the darkness has been celebrating. The forces that hate your light, the people who whispered that you were finished, they thought they had checked all the boxes. They took your resources, they attacked your reputation. They tried to wear down your spirit through 1,000 small cuts of anxiety and doubt. But here is the master plan that the enemy never saw coming. The Father allowed you to be cornered, because that is the only place where you would finally stop relying on your own strength and start using His. In the American wilderness, there is a reason the eagle thrives in the storm. The eagle doesn't flap its wings harder to fight the wind. It locks its wings and uses the very pressure of the storm to lift it higher than any other bird can reach. That is exactly what is happening in your life right now. The final counterstrike isn't you fighting back against your enemies. It is the Father fighting through you. The facts are undeniable. When you stop trying to fix it yourself and you truly hand the reins to the King, the physics of your life change. You enter the realm of supernatural momentum. Think about the way our great nation was built by men and women who were told it was impossible. They were told they couldn't stand against the biggest empire in the world. But they had a secret weapon. They had a conviction that was rooted in the divine. That same revolutionary fire is being poured into your soul today. You are launching a revolution in your own life. A revolution against poverty. A revolution against the victim mentality. A revolution against the spirits of rejection and abandonment. The twist in this part of the story is that your past pain is being converted into authority. Do you know why people will listen to you in the future? Do you know why your business or your ministry will thrive? It won't be because of a degree or a fancy logo. It will be because you have the smell of the fire on you. People can sense when someone has actually been through the hell and back. They can feel the weight of glory that only comes through endurance. Your struggle wasn't a waste of time. It was the currency for your future influence. Every tear you shed in that empty house was a deposit into a high-interest spiritual account. And today, the Father is releasing the interest. The counterstrike is starting in your mind. The elite and the globalist systems want you to be predictable. They want you to be afraid of the news, afraid of the economy, and afraid of the future, because an afraid person is easy to control. But you are becoming UN governable by fear. You are looking at the same news everyone else is seeing, and you are smiling. Why? Because you know that the King you serve is the owner of the board. You are moving from a defense posture to an offense posture. In football terms, you are no longer trying to stop the other team from scoring. You have the ball. You are in the red zone, and the defense is exhausted. The enemies who were laughing at you 6 months ago are now looking over their shoulders. They see the shift. They see that your skin is clearer, your eyes are brighter, and your speech is bolder. They see that favor is following you like a heat-seeking missile. This is the season where the last shall be first. In the United States, we are seeing a massive shaking of the old structures. The people who relied on corruption and who they knew are starting to fall. But the people who relied on the truth, the chosen ones, are being elevated. You are being positioned for a hostile takeover of your destiny, not through violence, but through excellence and divine appointment. The Father is opening doors that no man can shut. He is putting you in rooms where you don't belong according to the world's standards. But you belong there because He said so. And when you walk into those rooms, The atmosphere will bow to the spirit you carry. Now, let's talk about the payoff. A lot of people think that being a chosen one means you just get to be happy. No, being a chosen one means you get to be productive. The Father is giving you the seed for a harvest that will feed generations. He is giving you the blueprint for a legacy that will outlive your name. The counter-strike is about reclamation. You are taking back the ground the enemy stole. You are taking back the joy of your house. You are taking back the vision for your future. You are taking back the authority over your children. The statistics say your family should be broken. The statistics say you should be in debt for the rest of your life. The statistics say you should be bitter at your age. But the chosen one defies the statistics. You are the anomaly. You are the glitch in the system. You are the proof that the word of God is more powerful than the word of man. I want you to take a deep breath right now. Can you feel the oxygen of heaven filling your lungs? The suffocation of the last season is over. You are in the open space now. The master plan is in its final phase of execution. The pieces are all in place. The king is on the move, and you are part of his royal entourage. But before we get to the final conclusion, there is one last secret you need to understand. It is the secret of the finished work. You aren't fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory. The battle was won 2,000 years ago, and you are just here to collect the spoils. Are you ready to see the final reveal? Are you ready to see how the story ends, not just for the world, but for you? Because the ending isn't just good, it is glorious. In the next part, we are going to wrap this all together, and I am going to give you the activation code to step into this new reality today. The congratulations I gave you at the beginning. By the end of the next part, you will understand exactly why it was the only word I could use. The era of the overcoming is here. And honey, you look good in the winner's circle. Let's finish this journey together. The time has finally come for the great reveal. Everything we have discussed, the pain, the slingshot, the third day, and the strategic counterstrike, it all leads to this single pivotal moment in your life. You are standing on the threshold of a new dimension of existence. In the American narrative, we often talk about the self-made man, but as a chosen one, you are something far more powerful. You are a God-made masterpiece. The world has tried to define you by your bank account, your zip code, or your past mistakes. The globalists want you to think you are just a consumer, a data point in their grand social experiment. But today, we are tearing up that script. The Father is looking at you and saying, "This is my beloved child, in whom I am well pleased." Do you know what that means? It means the approval you spent years chasing from people who didn't even love themselves is now irrelevant. You have the approval of the King of Kings, and when the King approves of you, the earth has no choice but to yield to you. The twist in this final stage of your journey is that your greatest weakness is becoming your greatest weapon. Think about the Apostle Paul. He was a man who had every reason to be proud. Yet he said, "When I am weak, then I am strong." Why? Because when you are at the end of your rope, you finally stop trying to climb and you start to soar. The facts are undeniable. The most influential leaders in history were those who were broken by God before they were used by Him. Your brokenness was the cracking of the seed, so the life inside could come out. Look at your life right now. Can you see the green shoots of the new season? The congratulations I gave you at the start of this video wasn't just for your survival. It was for your ascension. You are no longer crawling through the mud of survival mode. You are ascending to the throne of dominion. Dominion over your emotions. Dominion over your finances. Dominion over your health and your family's legacy. The Father is handing you the keys to the kingdom. In the United States, we are at a crossroads. There is a darkness trying to sweep across our land, trying to erase our values and steal our children's future. But the master plan of heaven is to plant a chosen one in every city, in every school, and in every boardroom. You are that plant. You are the light that the darkness cannot comprehend. While the elite are worried about their power structures crumbling, you are building a structure that is eternal. You are becoming a city on a hill. People are going to start coming to you for answers. They won't know why, but they will sense the wisdom and the peace that you carry. You are going to be a problem solver for the kingdom. The ideas that God is dropping into your spirit, those random thoughts about a new business, a new book, or a new way to help your community, those are not random. Those are the orders of the day. Execute them with boldness. The great leader doesn't wait for permission to be great. He simply steps into the arena and acts. You have been in the waiting room for long enough. The nurse has called your name. The great physician is ready to see you, and the diagnosis is total restoration. I want you to imagine your life 1 year from today. Imagine waking up in a home that feels like a sanctuary, not a prison. Imagine looking at your bank statement and seeing a number that represents freedom and generosity, not fear and lack. Imagine walking into a room and having the presence of God so thick on you that even your enemies have to be nice to you. This isn't a fantasy. This is the promise, and the Father is not a man that he should lie. If he said it, he will do it. If he promised it, he will make it good. But here is the final, strategic instruction for the chosen one. As you step into this glory, do not forget the lessons of the wilderness. Stay humble, stay hungry, stay connected to the source. The counterstrike was successful because you stayed on your knees. The victory will be maintained the same way. The world will try to lure you back into the old way of thinking. They will try to make you normal again. But you can never be normal again. You have tasted the fire. You have seen the invisible. You have heard the voice of the Almighty. You are now a stranger and a pilgrim in this world, but a citizen and a ruler in the next. The master plan for 2026 is for you to be the most visible version of God's grace on this planet. Every time you smile, every time you succeed, every time you give, you are proving that the King is alive. You are the evidence, you are the witness, and the congratulations are echoing through the halls of heaven right now. The angels are cheering. The cloud of witnesses is standing on its feet, because the underdog just took the lead. The lost sheep just found the treasure. The chosen one just woke up. Everything you have been through, the 3 a.m. panic attacks, the betrayal by people you trusted, the feeling of being not enough, it was all just the prologue to the real story. The real story starts now. In the next few seconds, I am going to give you the activation and the final call to action. But before I do, I want you to take one last look at your past. Say goodbye to it. Forgive the people who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free of them. Release the guilt of your mistakes. The Father has washed them away in the blood of the Lamb. You are new. You are clean. You are ready. The congratulations is over. The celebration is beginning. Are you ready to step into the winner's circle and claim your crown? Because the Father is standing there with it in his hands, and he has a smile on his face. He is saying, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You survived the fire. Now come and enjoy the feast." Let's move into the final conclusion and the activation of your destiny. The chosen one era has officially begun. The journey we have taken today is more than just a sequence of words. It is a spiritual alignment. If you are still here, listening to this message, it is not a coincidence. It is a sign that your spirit has recognized the truth. You are the chosen one. The fire you walked through was not meant to consume you. It was meant to refine you. The people who walked away from you were not a loss. They were a divine clearance. The silence of God in your darkest night was not abandonment. It was the intense focus of a master craftsman working on his most precious piece of art. As we wrap up this kitsch ban of your life, let us reflect on the core meaning of your struggle. The lesson of the chosen one is simple yet profound. Your value is not determined by your utility to the world, but by your identity in the Father. In our fast-paced American society, we often measure our worth by our productivity, our bank accounts, or our social status. But the Father says your worth was established before you ever drew your first breath. You were chosen not because of what you could do, but because of who you are, His child, His warrior, His representative on this earth. The lesson you must carry into this new season is the lesson of anti-fragility. In 2026, the world will continue to shake. The systems of men will continue to stumble. But you, rooted in the Word, will only grow stronger. Every obstacle will become your stepping stone. Every no from the world will become a yes from heaven. Congratulations, because you finally stopped trying to fit into a world that you were born to change. You stopped seeking a seat at a table that was beneath your dignity. You realized that you don't need to bark like a dog when you were born to roar like a lion. The struggle is over. The training is complete. You have passed the test of character in the wilderness, and now you are being entrusted with the weight of glory in the palace. Go forth today with your head held high. Do not walk with the spirit of fear, for that spirit does not belong to you. Walk with the spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. When you encounter someone who is struggling, give them a hand, but never let them pull you back into the mud. You are an overcomer. You are a victor. You are the manifestation of God's faithfulness in the United States of America. The chosen one era is not a destination. It is a lifestyle. It is a daily decision to choose faith over fear, abundance over lack, and purpose over comfort. You have the master plan. You have the strategic counterstrike. Now, all that is left is for you to step out and possess the land. The Father is watching. The angels are cheering, and your destiny is calling your name. It is time to rise. This message was a divine appointment for you. If you felt the fire in your heart, and you know deep down that you are the chosen one, let the world know. If you liked this video, please comment 999 below to claim this blessing and show your faith. If you didn't like the video or felt something was missing, please comment 0 so I can improve and bring you even more powerful content next time. Or leave a comment sharing your own journey. We want to know your story. Your testimony could be the third day miracle someone else is waiting for. And finally, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. This is more than just a YouTube channel. It is a community of warriors. Your subscription gives me the motivation and the fuel to keep producing these messages of hope and power. Stand up, be bold. You are the chosen one.